It's great, it's grand, and it's beautiful. Welcome to another Chili Ram video, in which we will be discussing the following achievement. We already know what it is. It's the Manchurian Candidate, of course it is. Start as one of the Jurchen tribes and form Qing. Well, here is the result of forming Qing. What a game. It's the year 1753. One of the most satisfying tags I've ever seen. Also the color looks pretty good, which is secretly what all EU4 players really care about. The color. The map color. I mean, if you got a shitty color like the Ottomans, why would you even care about playing? But we've found ourselves in a little bit of trouble. I'm actually fighting a coalition war with my mortal enemies. Afghanistan, Persia, Malwa, I have a truce with them, Malacca as well. But what surprised me is that there's actually more nations involved. Not the Ottomans, no, but this. And tomorrow. In Madagascar, Jenne, Songhai, and even Bonoman. Which makes no real sense. Look at that, they only have one coastal province. And without that, there is legitimately thousands of kilometers of land in between us. And several nations as well. I mean, Afghanistan, Persia, Ottomans, Songhai, Jenne, Bonoman. Exactly, but let's focus on Qing for now. Qing is actually surprisingly fun to play. I mean, this coalition problem might be something out of a new patch. I'm not even sure. You know, I was looking at I thought it had something to do with religion, but then does it? Yeah, I guess. And tomorrow. But Marehan doesn't really hate me, even though it's way closer, especially if you take it from here to here. They're way closer than, for example, Jenne, but who knows? Who knows what's going on? What makes Qing so fun to play is that they actually have pretty solid ideas. I mean, this is the symbol. By the symbol you'd think it's just manpower, but it isn't, because if you read closely it says core creation cost minus 20%, which is fucking great. But this is really what it's all about. This is what makes the game fun. Disturbio nacional minus dos, right? Or national unrest minus 2. Which is fucking great because it makes rebellions less chance of rebellions. If you take humanists as well, you now got minus 4. On top of that, if you're really lucky, you can get another minus 2, which makes it even better. And if you're still not satisfied, you can add policies. For example, this one, for which you need humanist and offensive completed, and you can get the law of liberation, another minus 1 unrest, and minus 5 years of separatism. Which honestly makes this game fucking great, because you can just run for everybody and you don't have to worry about all the fucking rebellions. Which is great. Great, look at that, minus 7, even though our war exhaustion is 4.63, and we get plus 2.75 from overextension at 54%, but it somehow works. But let's get back to Qing. So Qing is pretty awesome to play. It's pretty fun to play. They have a couple of weaknesses though. Like, for example, you start out in Jilin, which for trade is pretty much the exact opposite of the English Channel. But that doesn't matter. Let's go back to the achievement. The year is 1444, and you have to start out as one of the 3 Jurchen tribes, which is either Yeren, Haixi, or whatever, or Jianzhou. And Jianzhou is obviously your best option for a couple of reasons. First, most development, very easy. Second of all, they have a couple of cores in Korea that can be taken back. If Korea doesn't get an alliance with Ming, which they sometimes do quite quickly. Of course, normally this would never happen, but because you're playing close, then all the weird shit happens that normally never would happen. Anyway, the first thing you need to do is form Manchuria, for which you need 2 things. 2 provinces, in fact, Girin, which is the capital of Haixi, and Hinggan, which is not the capital of Yeren, but a random-ass province. Regarding the diplomatic and political climate in this whole northern area, the thing you can do best is just ally courting, which is possible 99 out of 100 times. If you're lucky, Girin and Haixi don't ally each other, and you can just run them over with the help of Jurchen or without the help, because honestly, you've got a bigger army and it's fine. Buryatia can be ignored for now. They look quite big, but they only have 4 provinces. The Mongols, you can expand to this, but right now they're vassal of Oirat, which is a bit of a force to be dealt with. But of course, to your south, you have the real problem. The one thing that makes this achievement hard, it's called Ming. Probably the most powerful nation in the game after the nerf of the Ottomans, you might say. Yes, you might say no, we don't know. But they're pretty fucking strong. So the first thing you want to do at the start of every game is improve relations with Ming. The advantage you have is that Ming has got a lot of tributaries and they've got a lot on their mind. I mean, look at the amount of nations that border Korea, Haixi, Jurchen, Mongolia, Karadel, Chagatai, Sarik, all this stuff, Daiviet, Langzang, Zui. So the only thing you need to make sure is that conquering specifically you isn't their direct first intention. So you just want to extend here and see what happens. And this can be done surprisingly quick. So you ally Jurchen. Like you see I'm doing here, taking Haixi, taking Yeren right after, and it's 1450 and I've already for Manchuria, which is nice because now you get permanent claims, which makes it easier to core the rest of the land. I've also given Jurchen a province, but we can always step them in and back later, which is exactly what we're going to do. So now just wait out the truce a little bit, no reason to truce break this early actually. Oh, Jurchen is actually getting a bit power hungry and greedy. But it's no problem, they help me take this, and from this moment on you've already got quite a nice foothold. But of course we can't keep playing with this color, so we want to make Qing, for which we need 4 provinces. The first one, and also the easiest, is probably Xilin Gol, which is right here in Mongolia. But like I said, Mongolia is part of Oirat, which might or might not make it more difficult. You can try to get an alliance with Chagatai or Uzbek if they actually border them. You probably need to backstep Jurchen to even get here, so that's not an option. That's actually exactly what I'm going to do. But even if you can't get any help, just create a claim and use that as your casus belli. I mean, for just occupying the province, you just have a tiny corridor. You send your troops through. Just occupying the province is going to give you 25 war score in the long run. So just defend it and take it. You don't need to annex all of Mongolia at once, you just need this province, and it's not that much war score, so it's quite easily doable. But first you need to get there. So here, we already take a bit of Jurchen, split the country up in the process, which is nice because there might be separatists, which can aid us because, well, they would create another nation. So here we go, Oirat is already pretty beat up by Chagatai, so we could easily take this. I think I even make the Mongols a vassal, and the attentive viewer would see now that something is happening, namely a Ming implosion, which is the perfect situation you can have for this achievement. So the thing you want to do as quickly as possible is, if a Ming implosion happens, I believe I didn't capitalize on it, but you get I already had a claim on this province, and as they just pop up, they rarely have that big of an army. And secondly, they don't have any allies, especially if the first Chinese minor to pop up. Also, if you're lucky, they sort of cross allies, so Qi gets an alliance with you, even though they might have been better off getting an alliance with Xi. From this point onwards, it's just more and more Ming implosion, which is really good for you. But even if that doesn't happen, there's a couple of other things you can do. Like I said, make sure that relations are always high with Ming, as high as possible, which the game calls placating Ming, which I agree with. And from that point onwards, you can either extend in Korea, or that might not be possible if they've got an alliance with Ming. There's some other things you can do. Expand westwards. Take Jurchen, Mongols, Oirat, Chagatai, Uzbek, Nogai, Transoxiana, all the way to the Caspian Sea. Just try how far you can get. It's probably better to just keep strictly going westwards than go south here, because you don't want Ming to pay too much attention to you. And this is really what it comes down to. You need to sort of make sure that Ming likes you enough. If they don't explode, right? You can make them explode if you have certain DLCs that I don't have. You can apparently influence it a little bit. Another thing you can do is, if you own Sakhalin, you can from there on create a claim on Ainu and invade them, which is the weakest part of Japan, and from there on work your way down, which is surprisingly much development. And also you can get a pop-up if you take Kyoto, and you'll get some administrative power for it as well, and some prestige, which is really, really nice. So just keep expanding until you're as strong as Ming, stronger than Ming, get alliances with people that would together make you stronger than Ming. Another thing you can do is colonialism, which might or might not work. I mean, honestly, if you can take a little bit of Korea, like for example here with a port, let's say Pyongyang, it's quite easy to get to Formosa, even early in the game. It's not that much farther than Spain is away from the Canary Islands. Maybe that's not correct. Well, I don't know. But it's not that far. And from there on, you can go on to the Philippines, which is quite nice because there's nations on the Philippines nowadays, especially this, because Tondo is obviously the capital of Tondo, and Manila is the capital of Manila. So these two will be developing their capitals quite a bit. And you might just snatch them both because they're not that difficult to defeat. After which you have two nice provinces. And from there on you can work your way down. This is all not too bad actually. And you can just work your way through it until you get to the beautiful Southeast Asia. The one part I always feel the pathological need to milk out. So the same thing again. Ternate, Tidore, colonize this. Gandhiri is good because you can have access to Makassar and Bhutan. Brunei is obviously quite hard. I wouldn't do that initially, or Kutai. Stay away from this part a bit. Flores is also like 11 development. And you might even get to Australia before the Europeans do. Hey, how great. Well. But if they don't, like I said, take the nations that form in China as quickly as possible. But really, this achievement is classified as hard, but it's not that hard. At this point, you just need Shenyang, Ningyuan, and Peking. Even if you would take all the way to 1800 to just expand your empire and gain development, and would then get into war with Ming, take out massive loans to get mercenaries and all this stuff, and you would just take these three provinces, you could already form Qing, so you could technically get the achievement. So I would say it's not that hard, but it can definitely be done a lot quicker if you're a bit lucky. So you see here, Yan actually has two of the three provinces I need, Ningyuan and Peking, so I think I'm gonna invade those exactly. Now all there's left is Ming, which also have a bit here, and they're allied with Korea, so I think I'm waiting it out a bit, and then eventually I take it, snatch it up, there we go, and we've already formed Qing with the Mongols as a vassal. From this point onward, you can just keep expanding through the Chinese miners. I think you have minus 25% coring cost on everything in this China super region, which goes all the way quite here to Ava and Yi. It's quite large actually, surprisingly large. Wu is the only one you really need to look out for. In my opinion, Wu is the strongest of the Chinese minor states because they have so much development if they get the whole coast. It's also good to look at the general areas. I mean, the Nanjing area is usually really high development. The areas with the high development, you of course want to look what culture they have and then promote that specific culture if you can make a lot of states with that culture. Which massively decreases the risk of rebellions, which you can also do here in Japan, as everything from Kyoto to Suo actually has Japanese culture. And you can get a couple of nice states out of that. So from here on out, I'm actually colonizing a little bit for a mission to take the island of Formosa or Taiwan. I would say be careful though if you're going this route with the massive overextension. Why? Because you're going to be massively behind on diplomatic technology. Because all these peace offers, actually, it just takes even more diplomatic power than administrative power to piece all these countries out. Which means that you're going to get behind on diplomatic technology. And there's almost no way of surrounding that. But that means your ships are going to be shittier. Even if you have way more ships, if you're 3 or 4 levels behind diplomatically, you could easily lose to Malacca or Brunei. If you don't watch out. So here we go. Gradually make your way into India. Malwa, Persia is a surprisingly tough cookie in this game. So here we are with the only non-colonized province here as of yet, and we're in a bit of a coalition pickle. But as you can see, you can take Japan. Just take mainland Southeast Asia, then turn your attention to Southeast Asia, and from there you can just keep expanding westward. Yeah, honestly, I don't really feel like playing this game out as of right now because I don't really see what there could be gained. And the coalitions are kind of fucking me up. But to be honest, Qing is really refreshing to play because you can keep stacking national unrest modifiers, which is fucking great. And also, yeah, their combat ideas are pretty solid as well. They do have very little income though, in comparison to most great empires. I mean, I remember my Roggeveld, which was of course a custom nation. That was insane. I was getting so much money. But I feel like even playing a tiny nation as Holland, you'd probably be able to get more money at this point than Qing. It really has an unfavorable start because this is really the start of the whole trading route. You're not gonna get a lot of trading income if this is your home node. Also not if Peking is your home node. The best thing you can do is try to get all the influence here and push through from Canton and Hangzhou and from Japan. From this Xi'an, but still it won't be nearly as much as it could be. So you have to be sort of careful with that, and it might also keep you behind on institutions quite a bit, especially manufactories, enlightenment, also printing press a little bit, because you have so much land here that is all very low development, and you don't have that much money to build that much universities. So universities are mostly going to be located here around the coast, but it just takes such a long time to get enough development to embrace the institution before you can actually use it. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching again, guys. Maybe another video will be up soon, but who knows? It remains a mystery. And on that, I'm gonna end.